What's up, YouTube? Yu-Gi-Oh! Tube here, and today we're going to talk about something different. Okay, it's not going to even involve much at all, of course, of Yu-Gi-Oh! Today we're going to talk about just simple business practices, because from what I've been seeing, okay, business practices, especially in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Community, have been a little shaky. Okay, but it doesn't matter. It could be in the automobile industry. It could be in any other industry, the food industry, whatever it might be, right? But I think it's important to understand that we have this discussion. Okay, that we have this discussion about moral, ethical business decision making. And this isn't something that I'm going and advocating everyone should do and everyone shouldn't do. Okay, it's up to you. It's up to your own moral code. So what do I mean by ethical business decision making? Well, first of all, we have seen in the last few weeks that there's been a lot of questionable ethical decisions made, or at least accusations of such sort. Let's be honest here. Ethical decision making is decision making based within. It's decision making based on the fact that one wants to actually do something good for somebody else, okay, with no expectation or no ulterior motive. There's no saying, I'm going to do good for this person because I expect him or her down the line to do good for me. I'm doing good for this person. I'm giving this person a good offer, a good price, because I want to do it. Okay, so let's talk about ethical and unethical business. Now, a lot of the times, obviously, ethical business, a lot of the times, is legal business. On the other side of the spectrum, unethical business does not necessarily make it illegal business. There are certain ways to say things. There are certain ways to advertise a product. There are certain ways to cover your butts in terms of, God forbid something happens. There's a lawsuit. There are certain legal ways to make your business ethical or unethical. And I just wanted to go over a situation. Now, I'm sure some of you may have heard this situation, and some of you did not hear this situation. And basically what this situation that happened was, there's a card for sale, okay? There is no mention of a claim. There's a, what is a claim sale? Okay, if you don't know what a claim sale is, let's say we know on eBay, right? If there's a buy it now price, anyone can come in, go on eBay, and press the buy it now button on the buy it now price, right? And that's it. It's a done deal. It's a legal contract between the two parties. Okay, now again, I don't know how much eBay abides by this quote-unquote legal contract between the two parties, but it's a deal, right? If you list something for sale at a certain price, then if someone were to say, okay, I have it for this price, it's a done deal. Okay, it's over. So for example, myself, is if I go on Instagram, because Instagram, they don't have these quote-unquote two-party contracts. Okay. Now, if I go and put my card up for $1,000, and I say, here it is, $1,000 takes it. If I have someone come to me and say, I will give you this $1,000 right now for this card, it's a done deal. Okay? If I have an offer from somebody, a 2-hour later span, and someone says, yo, I just heard you purchase this item, or someone purchased this item for $1,000. I'll give you $1,200 for it right now. Let's make a deal. Okay? That isn't a right or wrong decision. That's based on what you think is right or wrong. So let me clarify this here. As a seller, okay, you have a decision, and we each have our own moral compass and moral code. What one person might think is ethical, the other person might not, okay? And that's based on how we're upbringing or how we share our spirituality, whatever it might be, okay? But one person's ethical decision might not necessarily mean it's another person's ethical decision. But getting back to the topic, okay? when we look at this kind of scenario, what is the best business practice? Well, in my opinion, I give you my word. That is my moral obligation and my moral contract to fulfill this deal. Now, let's be honest. If someone says, I'll give you the 1,000 for it, and you don't hear back from them in a few days, well, then there's reason. Okay? And based on that, you should at least give the other party and say, some sort of gratification, just a warning. Okay? Just a warning in saying, okay, I have this other offer on the table. Not only is it what I'm asking for, it could even be more than what I'm asking for. I have this other offer on the table. Is it okay if I give you 48 hours? You know, just because I can't leave this other person hanging that has a legitimate offer and legitimate money ready to go. Now, if you give the other party that consent, I consider that a very moral, ethical business practice. And not a lot of people do that. You know, a lot of people will say, oh, this guy's offering $200 more. Let me go back to that original guy who offered 1,000. Okay. And let me tell him someone just upped the offer. Even though I had a card for sale at a certain price. Okay. Even though I asked for a price and this person was giving me that exact price that I was asking for. Because it's in sheer respect to the other party. Now again, if a warning was made, in a fair warning, let's not say, oh, in an hour you have to let me know, but a fair warning that says a reasonable amount of time, you know, under the circumstances of somebody saying, you know, a 2-hour span, that's a little ridiculous, okay, because people do have lives, all right? 24, 48 hours, just say, all right, here's the deal. I have another offer. Whether it's more or less or the same, I have another offer. I can't leave this second offer pending because I might lose both of them, right? And you would let that second person with that second offer just know, okay, to the first person, I am letting this first person who had the offer know right now if he doesn't pay within 24 to 48 hours, then it's yours. Because that's keeping the other party's perspective and the other party's offer in respect. Okay, you have to do that, in my opinion, from an ethical business perspective. Some might say, well, he didn't have the money, or she didn't have the money right at the very time of that offer. That's fine, okay? But at least give that person the opportunity to pay for an item within a reasonable time span. That's my opinion on it. And that's just, again, business ethics. There is no legal and illegal way to do something like this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, both ways are legitimately legal. There's no one right or wrong way. But from my ethical perspective, I would think that giving that first person the light of day and just saying, here's what I have another offer on the table. You gotta let me know within X amount of time in a reasonable span. And to the second person with the offer and say, thank you so much. One person has come before you with a legitimate offer with an intent to pay. I will get back to you. I will let him know or her know that the second offer has come in, and if he or she doesn't pay, well, then it's all yours. And it's that easy. You know, it's that easy to keep a moral compass. It's that easy to be a professional business person. Okay, when you accept a second offer, whether it's more than the desired payment, or, you know, I've actually had experiences. Okay, I've made offers, and I've said, I'll give you, he's asking $150. I'll give you $150 for it right now. There you go, done deal, right? And I get a message the next day and say, oh, no. I had a second or third offer here. What do you mean? I gave you what you were asking for. No. I had a competitive offer. I had an offer of $175, an offer of $200. Can you go above $200? And then to me, as a buyer, okay, that's a little ridiculous. Or if I offered $150 and I said, okay, you know, I'll pay you tomorrow. And all of a sudden, this seller says, oh, I've sold the card already because you couldn't pay on time, with no prior warning within a reasonable time span. Okay, that's bad business. That's bad business. Whether you realize it or not. Again, people might not even realize it's bad business. You know, because people may have either never been working in a business perspective, a business field, or B, don't have that moral, ethical code. But it's important to understand this video because I've seen it go on not only in the past week, but for the past few months, just in general. You know, there's no specific members involved. It's just there's so many different parties that I've seen it go back and forth with so many different people to the point of, in my opinion, we need to be good, moral, human buyers and sellers here in this very niche market that we're in. Okay, this is a hobby at the end of the day, right? I understand money. Money is very important. Money talks, right? Money is obviously a very important factor. But for me personally, it's one of those things where you have to respect the other human being on the other side of the line. You know, and if you realize it or don't, it's one of those things you just have to have that respect. You know? And with that being said, Yu-Gi-Oh! Tube signing out. Until next time, we got a lot of good stuff coming on. But I just wanted to let you guys know that being a moral business person trumps, no pun intended, to the U.S. watchers, trumps any other monetary gain, you know, or other intention that you may have. The satisfaction from being a moral business person and giving the other parties the light of day, to me, okay, that comes before everything else. And with that being said, Yu-Gi-Oh! Tube signing out.